actually choosing a niche. I'll be showing you how to actually pick a niche, on what leverage, and actually what to do. You cannot actually focus on the broader picture of it. You cannot just handle that much mass on your shoulders. You have to pick a certain niche, they call it a niche, but you have to pick a certain path to actually follow through, to actually go through with your agency. Now, as for me, I'm also picking a niche because I have been studying, well, marketing, but on the what do you call, I've been studying marketing on the upper level, on the floating side, the Jesus Christ, English stuff. I've been studying the marketing, but not focused on any marketing, but actually the overall marketing. Yes, I think that's the word, the overall marketing structures. But now I've actually decided to actually dial down and focus on one sector of the market, because you cannot take all the market niches by the horn. You actually have to focus on a certain path where you specialize, because in any incident you cannot choose an overall engineer to make you a software. You're going to choose a software engineer, the same as to plumbing. You're not going to choose someone who is, well, a fixer, a Bob the Builder. You're going to choose someone who has studied and has specialized in the plumbing. You get? I know it's a shitty explanation. I don't script most of my videos. I actually put it down the camera, start recording, and I actually start speaking my thoughts. So I don't really research all this. But yeah, I think you get what I'm saying. You can't actually pick a whole bag full of things thinking you'll gain a lot of money because you're actually diverse. Diversity is good, but then diversity in business is not good, because people love specializing. The same way there are people who specialize in ergonomic seats, people who specialize in desks, people who specialize in ring lights, people who specialize in all that. You see, they don't mix it up. They actually focus on one niche, and that's how they brand themselves in the market. You get? So yeah, so what you're going to go through is, I've been studying a little bit, and I discovered that Ayman Gadzi had another channel, which is Ayman Gadzi Extended, where I've been learning also some other aspects of marketing, and I came down to a video which talked about niches, and I am going to use some of their resources to actually explain all this. Okay, so we're gonna start up on on actually the key factors on actually to choose the niche. Key factors on choosing a niche, and this are we actually boil down to 5 key factors, which are revenue, profit margins. Okay, there are revenue, profit margins, product tickets, total addressable market, and saturation. So revenue. For the revenue must always exceed $10,000, because you're actually looking for someone who can actually pay for your services as a marketer, right? And you're targeting a certain amount. Let's say you're targeting your services to reach up to from $500 to $1,500. You see, an agency that earns below $10,000 will actually find it hard to actually pay you, because you see, you're taking a large percentage, like 10. You're taking 10. If you find someone who's below the 10,000 a month average, they're going to find it hard to actually pay you that $1,000 or $1,500 that you actually want from them. So picking the niche to follow, you have to pick a market which has, and with this one you're going to move on to another aspect of it, but which has a high selling ticket, or the services actually exceed $10,000 a month. That's how you're actually going to get the adequate pay that actually pays for your services. Shit, what the fuck? That actually pays for your services in a way you actually want. You won't be pulling yourself down working with this agency because you'll be comfortable with the pay and they'll be comfortable with you with actually paying you that amount of money. The second one is the profit margins. Now the profit margins, other agencies actually earn $10,000, right? But then there's the money that goes back to the business, and there is now the profits. Now if an agency doesn't exceed a minimum of like 20% to 40% of profit margins, it's going to be a problem, because now they'll find it hard to pay you because they're feeling that pinch inside their profit base. You see, an agency that actually exceeds 20% profit margins won't feel it as a pinch to actually pay you, because they're actually seeing it as a big investment back to the agency. But now one which earns below that average actually uses a lot of money back to its its products. It's paying the employees, the servicing of their machines and all that. For example, a restaurant has not so much profit margins. Most of their money goes back to stock, paying for the rent, paying for the servicing of the machinery, and also, yeah, mostly those. And you see now the profit margins is less. So actually picking this niche, you'll have to have low expectations for them, because their profit margins are not high. But taking for example an e-commerce agency, or an e-commerce person who deals with e-commerce marketing for them, won't be as hard, and their profit margins are so high because it's with them, it's just with their laptops. They sell things online, they sell online courses. For example, the online courses only takes their time and probably paying for the software. Now their profit margins land up from 60 to 80% profit margins, even up to 90%. So working with that agency, you see, it'll be very favorable to you because they will be flexible with how they pay you, other than working with this restaurant that earns below 20% profit margins, which they'll feel a pinch in actually paying you. So the second one is profit margins, and now we go to the third one, which is product ticket. Now for product ticket, we're actually looking at what product actually, what price that does one product actually sell. And how we look at this is, if I'm selling, for example, this pen, I'm selling this pen at $1, right? $1 to actually make $1,000, I'll have to sell how many units? I'll have to sell 1,000 units. To actually make $10,000, I'll have to sell 10,000 units. This is a low product ticket item. You see, the price of one unit is not enough to actually pay you, because this is a pen. It will take a lot of pens to actually get to a point where it can actually pay you, and also pay the responsible company for this pen, pay for the services and all of the things they need inside their company. So pick something with a high product ticket. Now for me, for example, picking real estate. For real estate, if you market for real estate, selling one house, you manage to actually market and get a buyer of a house worth in USD, worth $500,000. You see, from $500,000, the person who was actually the owner of the house wouldn't hesitate paying you $1,000 for your services plus commission on you selling the house. You see, that's a high product ticket item. It was $500,000, that's its value, so it's a highly valued item. So imagine selling 10 of these houses, you'll be getting $10,000. You see, that's what product ticket is. Let's go to total addressable market. Now there are certain places we can go and check on the addressable market. You can actually see if this market is viable for you, how many people are actually in the market, and what is the value of the market as of today. You can see real estate is about 540 billion USD in Kenya at this time, and actually you can choose to invest on it based on how much value or how much businesses are available considering that value. And now the last one is saturation. I'll explain more on total addressable market. On saturation, you have to think such people being in that sector of business is not a bad thing. Many people being there just proves it as such a good entity to work with, because it is working well for other agencies, and they're earning quite well from doing that business. So actually working in that niche, you can find success easily because other people are doing it. Now the only part you will have to actually check on is how you actually go about your services. You see, you cannot be the same in the rat race. You cannot be the same. You don't look alike with other agencies. Provide other exemplary services. Provide a certain signature service that actually brings you to a higher level from other agencies. You get, and now that will be what we're going to next. Differentiating yourself. You know, if other agencies have found success in this niche and they are able to actually provide good results for their clients in that niche, that means that that is a viable market space to be in. But then what do you actually have to do to actually excel in that marketplace? You have to actually make yourself stand out. You cannot look the same as the other particular agencies. Provide a nice and unique business offer. Give them additional services for free or for commission. Work with them depending on the level they are at. Don't solidify your pricing to your own self, that because you're growing your actual business, so you have to be flexible with other businesses that you work with. Maybe they're at a financial crisis, maybe I said you have to pick a niche that actually gains profit, but there are other companies you always see a certain space you can help them such that they can reach their high potential. Now you have to leverage with them with the pricing they have to pay you, right? You cannot actually, you have to be flexible with the pricing, understand them, come to an agreement, and that's how you'll actually be different from other agencies. Because other agencies will say, you don't have this money, no, we cannot work with you, thank you for coming to us. But you'll be exemplary. Go to the levels of that company and actually understand them and make a deal that actually favors you and favors the company. I'm not actually an experienced person. I'm just a beginner actually learning this, and I'm actually teaching you as I learn. So that you don't have to take my advice. You can actually look into what I'm saying, and you can actually advance your knowledge on that. So there's that, right? There's all that. There's picking an industry. Now, picking an industry, we can go through what 5 viable options are actually the best in the market. There's construction, there's health and beauty, there's real estate, there's professional services such as the law business that actually has good money value, and there's e-commerce. There's e-commerce. Now you'll consider revenue, you'll consider profit margins, you'll consider the product ticket, the total addressable market, and the saturation. And we actually had to check out some few businesses and how we can actually leverage for them, because how we can actually profit for them, not leverage from them. So let's check on pool installation. For pool installation, it's under the construction business, right? So revenue per month is 50 to 150,000. Profit margins are 20 to 40%. The product ticket sells from 15,000 to that 5,000 USD. That means this is a good and viable market to actually be in the construction market. The total addressable market for this is 15,000 plus US, 50,000 plus in the US market. The saturation is high because a lot of people have actually ventured into this, but it's less sophisticated because you can actually go to them, tell them you'll market for them at a commission of which they won't resist, because you're bringing them what they want, you're bringing them clients. And since their product ticket sells from 15,000, if you sold, if you brought them a client that actually goes to an extent of paying about 20 to 25,000 for that service, them giving you $1,000 wouldn't be a problem. You see, this cosmetic surgery and beauty, which actually has a revenue of 25,000 to 42,000, a profit margin of 50 to 80%, product ticket 2,000 to 10,000, total just total addressable market of 30,000, and it's moderately sophisticated. Now, as for this table, you can actually assess from this table and actually get to know which is your best pick, which actually compares to you. This is just an example of an overall list of construction, health, real estate. Those are just the best in the market, doing well in the market right now. You can actually follow up on them and decide on what to choose. As for me, I think I'd say I'd go with real estate as for now. That's where we're actually thinking of venturing on. We're actually seeing how we can actually go about that, and we can actually push ourselves into the real estate market, but that's a video for later. So yeah, so that's basically it. So choosing a niche, actually sit down, write all these aspects, look for something good and something that you can actually scale and build up on it for about 6 months. See if it works. If it doesn't, you can actually tweak up, change whatever you're doing, and choose another one and work on it for another 6 months. And if it doesn't work well, choose another one. No giving up yet, but in 6 months we'll know how to go about this, how to maneuver these challenges, and how to build up on everything. Okay, so thank you for hearing me out. Thank you. I'll link the video resources in the description, so make sure to check it out. Thank you, and God bless you.